Joining us now is Carine Hajjar, opinion writer and member of the Boston Globe editorial board. Carine, thanks for being here. So I think if Kamala Harris doesn't get good questions today and she doesn't answer them, she might lose some of those voters who have kind of gotten excited about her candidacy. What do you think?
You know, I think it depends on what kind of questions. When it comes to kitchen table issues, voters are going to be listening. People are worried about their grocery bill. They're worried about the price at the pump. But honestly, I'm of the mind that I don't really think she, and this isn't good, this isn't what you'd want out of a candidate, but she's doing pretty well without getting into the particulars, and that's pretty concerning. But the truth is, voters are really looking more for the buzzword of this election, which is vibes. They're signaling that a lot of them just wanted someone different on the left, and whether or not that's enough to sway the swing voters is the really big question. Given Fox News' most recent swing state polls, it looks like it might be enough.
We've talked with you a lot about some of the anti-Semitic issues going on college campuses in this nation, and you've really been out forefront saying that just firing presidents of university over saying anti-Semitic things doesn't solve the root problem. Right. And indeed it doesn't, because Harvard has hired the UPenn president who stepped down after anti-Israel comments. So they just seem to be shuffling their own people around. How do you solve the root problem?
Well, I'll say at the very least, she's not getting a huge paycheck for doing a mostly research position. So at least they've learned from the Claudine Gay debacle, right?
Yes.
But I will say that it's less about who's at Harvard. It's less about is Liz McGill there or not. It's more about who isn't there and what isn't being said. And by that, I mean, you know, the root issue here has always been discourse. It was so scary to see these protesters saying anti-Semitic things on campus, to see them say pro-Hamas things on campus. But really, having people protest in favor of Palestine without all the vitriol wasn't the problem. The problem was that they were radicalized because they weren't seeing different ideas. They weren't hearing different ideas in the classroom. Harvard's faculty is hugely like in line on the same issues at all times. Less than 3% of the faculty is conservative as of 2021. So I think that's the real issue. It's discourse. It's not so much who's there, but who isn't. And I think you have to wonder, how are they trying to steer that discourse when they are also recruiting other former elected leaders like Bill de Blasio, from the former mayor of New York City, and also the Chicago mayor, Lloyd Lightfoot. So that's something else to pay attention to as well. I want to pivot just a little bit to student loans and kind of go back to this idea of what type of voters is Kamala Harris courting. Because as you know, the Supreme Court just yesterday, again, blocked the Biden administration and the Harris administration, too, their latest effort to again double down and forgive these student loans. The court saying, wait a second, pump the brakes. This does not really pass legal muster at this point. How do you think that impacts the young voter for Kamala Harris? It's going to be a huge issue that she's going to have to explain to them. It's going to be a challenge for the Harris administration. But again, at the end of the day, if she's out there saying, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, that might be enough for voters. She's not going to be able to deliver. I mean, over $400 billion in debt forgiveness is a huge number, and you need Congress to have a say in that much money. But, you know, again, I think she can continue to make big promises, even if it's dishonest, and it might be enough to signal to voters that she's at least in line with them on these issues. It feels like trying to dupe the voter. It is.
Well, what you're saying to them is, even though her job is to defend the Constitution, she's saying, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to defend my promise to hand things to you. That's what she's teaching the younger generation. And you got to assume people with a lot of student debt who don't care about the Constitution probably like that, actually. That's the sad part of it.
Well, I mean, a lot of what she's been signaling, again, we don't know her policy particulars because she won't sit down with critical press. She won't sit down alone, and she's not being pushed on these issues. But, you know, she's trying to signal at least that she's moving to the middle. We've seen her record. It's the Biden administration. So that's all voters need to really look at.
Carine, always good to see you. Thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having me on.
You bet.